Hello everyone and welcome back to another build video. For this video it's going to be a bit more concise and straight to the point, as I just want to get right into the gameplay and my thoughts about this build. This build will be honing in on the Scourge's support capabilities, and for this build I've decided to run with the Martial Amulet, the Rune of Scavenging, and also the Staff, Scepter, Torch weapons combination. For these specializations, I'll be taking Soul Reaping, Blood Magic, and Scourge. For Soul Reaping, I'm taking middle, middle, bottom, Blood Magic, top, bottom, bottom, and for Scourge, all 3 rows on top. With that out of the way, I will say that this build that I'm running was kind of just concocted on my own, and I wasn't really taking into account any meta situations, mostly just analyzing the strengths in Necromancer's revive capabilities. And I wouldn't say that this is necessarily competitive ready. However, I have been running it in competitive for quite a bit lately, and I've been winning most of my matches. So if that says anything about the strengths of this build, then there you go. But now that we have covered the introduction and the build and the gear that I'm running, let's take a look at some of the footage in the background. I will say that this game was a little rocky, as I haven't played competitive in about a week or so and I was just warming up, but I thought, hey, some gameplay is better than no gameplay. And most of the time I have been focusing on reviving players, and you'll see coming up right here, I emphasize the down players more than the players that are alive. So with the buffs to Ritual of Blood, or the blood well of blood, not Ritual of Blood, that's the trait. Well of Blood, it rapidly revives allies. And in a team-based game, it's very important to keep your teammates up. Also, with Barrier, you can prevent them from going down. I will say that I've had a little bit of difficulty applying Barrier comfortably to the point where I feel satisfied. Mostly I feel satisfied when I've been reviving the down players. In the background right now you will see me fighting a Weaver, and I hadn't really noticed this. I've noticed it in some situations, but this is when I really just, as I was fighting the Weaver, I was thinking, wow, this seems to be fairly bunkery in terms of it can hold its own with the amount of barrier. My playstyle was a little sloppy, and the Weaver definitely also made some mistakes, but overall, I've noticed on 1v1 scenarios, I've managed to hold my own much better than if it was like a team-based battle where they focused me down. So that could be one strength of this build, is having ample barrier application to survive on your own. This is just a more example of a team-based situation. For my utilities, I forgot to mention, I'm taking Well of Blood, I'm taking Sandswell, Serpent Siphon, forgot the name, and then the Well that converts conditions into boons, and then Ghastly Breach. I forgot that well. Well of Power? Might be Well of Power. Anyway, those are my utilities, and mostly for the utilities, I try to save my Well of Power for group scenarios, or if I'm in a dire situation where I need a stun break, because that well is also a stun break. Here, I try to save this down player. It doesn't end up going well, as he was focused down, and I'll give it to the team, the enemy team. They did a very good job at downing the player. Here, I'm going to go down because I am all by myself. I did say that this was kind of bunkery. In a 1v1 scenario, it can hold its own, but when you are fighting 3 other players, it can get a little hectic, and my hands were going lightning fast. We're switching over towards the end of the game, and I just want to show kind of a 2 versus 2 situation. I'm trying to line of sight this ranger as much as possible, because a power ranger with a longbow is very deadly, and especially being a necromancer, you don't have too many reflex, so you have to be careful. I use Sandswell here to get a little closer to possibly break the line of sight, and then I'm just here trying to support my teammates as much as possible. I've noticed that you can get a bit of damage out if you try hard enough for this build. It does take some time to ramp up, but it is possible. And then here I'm just trying to hold this node to make sure they do not get it. We are coming up on the end of this video. I know this isn't one of my longest videos and it's kind of shorter, but I wanted to just get the information out there. If any of you are interested in the necromancer builds that I've been playing, this is towards the end when we're just slaughtering this enemy necromancer. And overall, my final thoughts is that I've been having a lot of fun with this. I'd say 85% of the games I've been playing with this build, I have won. Just the other day, I did, or not the other day, like last week or so, when I last played competitive, I won like 4 matches in a day with this, and I was very pleased with it. I will say it is a difficult build to kind of play around because barrier is still a new thing, but it is powerful if you space out the barrier application enough. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Thank you everyone so much for watching and coming back and seeing the builds I'm playing, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!